The penitentiary loomed like a castle on a hill. Its walls were towering and ominous, its watchtowers and barbed wire fences a constant reminder of the prisoners' captivity. Inside, the air was thick with the stench of sweat and fear. Among the inmates was a man named Jack, a hardened criminal who had spent half his life behind bars. He had been locked up for a robbery he didn't commit, but with no alibi and a less than reputable lawyer, he had been found guilty and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Jack had spent the first few years of his sentence in a haze of anger and frustration, but as time passed, he began to focus his energy on a single goal: escape. Over the years, Jack had made connections with some of the prison's other inmates, including a few who had already attempted escape. They shared stories, swapped tips and tricks, and even made plans together. Finally, after years of planning and preparation, Jack and his group of fellow inmates put their plan into action. They had spent weeks digging a tunnel beneath the prison walls, using makeshift tools and hiding the dirt in their cells. The tunnel was long and winding, and it led to a spot just outside the prison's perimeter fence. One night, as the guards made their rounds, Jack and his group made their move. They crawled through the tunnel, emerging on the other side to find a waiting van, driven by a man who owed them a favor. They piled in, and the van sped away, leaving the prison behind. At first, the escape seemed too easy. Jack and his companions celebrated, thinking they had pulled off the perfect escape. But as they drove deeper into the night, they realized they were being followed. The guards had caught on to their escape and were in hot pursuit. The van raced through the deserted streets, tires screeching as it careened around corners and over bumps. The guards were closing in, their headlights blinding in the darkness. Jack and his group knew they had to lose the guards and fast. They directed the driver to a nearby forest, where they could hide and evade their pursuers. The van crashed through the undergrowth, bouncing over fallen trees and dodging branches. The guards were close behind, their sirens wailing. Suddenly, the van skidded to a stop. The driver had hit a rock, and the van's tire had blown out. Jack and his group piled out, grabbing their supplies and disappearing into the trees. They knew the guards would be close behind, so they split up, each heading in a different direction. Jack and two other inmates, a wiry man named Alex and a burly brute named Butch, stuck together. For days, they evaded the guards, surviving on the food and water they had brought with them. But the forest was unforgiving, and the three men soon found themselves lost and hungry. As they wandered through the trees, they came across a small village. It was run down and shabby, but it offered the chance to rest and resupply. They cautiously made their way into the village, hiding in the shadows and avoiding the few people they saw. They found an abandoned house, and made it their base of operations.